Good morning. Good morning. Good morning. Good morning. This is what I'm talking about. This is why it's important to have fiancés. They're giving us the production notes. Michelle's like, dead air. What's happening? It was also good to see you, Michelle, over the weekend. I was just telling everybody that could hear us on streaming that we had a busy weekend. And there's nothing better than bumping into fiancés out in the wild. So shout out to the squad that always comes on out to check us out at No Request. They stopped through My People's Market on Saturday. Then we bumped into Michelle on Saturday, which is amazing. Or was that Sunday? I can't remember. I think it was Saturday. In any event, the market was phenomenal. There were close to, if not over, 200 vendors. It was the largest market at the Red. So many different things. I got, what's the word I'm looking for? I got intoxicated with chicken wings and barbecue steak. I just kept going back. I was addicted from, was it Juicy JV's wings. Oh my gosh.
It's true. You were intoxicated.
Absolutely ridiculous. Could not control myself.
As a matter of fact, they had to sell out for you to not get more. Yeah.
Yeah. And part of them selling out on the second day was because I was doing so much promo. I was talking to everybody about the steak. I was like, you gotta get the steak. You haven't tried it? You have to get the steak. You have to get the steak.
I like that you're taking credit for this. This is taking credit for the sellout.
You're daggone right.
Yeah.
I know what I did.
Oh.
I know what part I played.
Okay.
You know?
I like it. I do.
I loved it.
So I may have missed a couple of things. Did I miss?
The only thing you missed was Michelle jumping right in.
Good morning, Michelle.
As fiancé as she is, and giving us production notes.
Uh-oh.
Because the studio wasn't on. It was in the wrong button.
Ambush.
Well, listen. Hey, I only talked for maybe like 2 minutes before, before we got to the right studio.
Okay. Thank you, Michelle, as always.
Shelly.
Good morning to Ross.
Yes. Good morning to Ross.
I mean, so we got surprised.
Yeah.
It was all the same day.
It was all
on
same
Saturday.
Day. Saturday. Yeah.
Shout out to everybody who showed up and showed out. And we got lucky. We were walking.
Yeah. We were just happened to be walking back.
Yeah, just happened to be walking back.
Mm-hmm.
Taking a peek at all the stuff.
We were checking out that barbecue vendor that was out. That was away
that's
from
right.
everyone
That was
else.
away from the food.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Brielle's.
And then we ran right into Michelle and Ross. That was amazing. Hugs. So great.
Yeah. It was awesome.
And then just a touch later in the afternoon, we're up there on stage just chit-chatting. And I look and I go, no way is that.
Is that them?
That looks like Brooke.
Is that the whole table over there?
Is that Brooke over there? Is that Kristen? Wait a minute.
Right.
And it was.
Right. Whole squad.
Day made.
Yeah.
Yes, the No Request squad showed up.
Yeah.
Showed out. And brought parents.
Parents.
So cute.
Yeah.
And your parents attended the market.
Yeah, they did. They had a ball.
Yeah, they did.
They had a great time. They had such a good time.
They really did. It was really fun to be up there and then look and see your mom and dad. Really, really cute.
Oh, my goodness.
I really enjoy just being around them.
They're hilarious.
They really are.
Yeah. They are hilarious. Got to do some cooking with my dad. That was good.
And delicious. It was really yummy.
I'm going to get that egusi soup recipe down. I'll be unstoppable.
Okay.
Yeah.
It's when you go to
Tell me.
Unstoppable.
Yeah.
In what regard?
In the regard of who'll be able to stop it.
Okay. I don't know why, but that is definitely not what I thought you were about to say.
You know?
Yeah, I do now.
Juggernaut vibes.
Okay.
You know?
You know what? Wins. Wins every time. They throw the Juggernaut in there.
Man.
You've bested me.
Yeah. I do want to give a shout out and some get well soon, but not too soon, but take your time.
Wait.
Which is to Rudo.
Roots,
man.
Harper.
Dude.
How are you dealing with him?
Oh my gosh.
Rudo, truly. Sending you love, sending you healing vibes, all of the things. Let us know. Are you a vitamin water, Gatorade? What do you need to heal?
Right.
You know?
Right.
If there is no antimantium, you know, what do you need?
Can't get my hands on vibranium, bruh. But yeah, he's got like a fracture. He sends photos.
Car accident.
Yeah. No good.
No good.
No good. And he also has a GoFundMe up. I shared it.
Oh.
But we shared it from News of My Fiancé.
We'll do it again.
Yeah. I think it was maybe it's earlier this week. Yeah, earlier this week. And we'll make sure we share it again.
Yeah. From our own accounts.
Rudes.
Sending you all the love and hugs.
Yeah, man.
But yeah, how can we support? How can we make sure you're staying hydrated?
Mm-hmm.
Make sure that Harper gets a break from waiting on you hand and foot, as they say. We're here.
Yeah. Sucks. I don't like it.
Not at all.
Yeah.
Not at all.
There's some good news, though.
What's the good news?
People can't see what I like on Twitter.
You know, I do find this very interesting, Ambush. So, one Elon X Musk has decided, you know what's not great? All of this backlash people get for what they have liked on, I mean, I don't know that he said this. This is just me.
He said it. We have tapes.
I think it's pretty funny how, you know, I don't think that they think these things through at all. And the they is when you have, you know.
When he has by myself meetings?
Yes.
Yeah.
Indeed. I think it feels like every business decision he makes is like, you know, the 2 a.m, 8 drinks in.
Yeah.
Unsure about which other substances. And is like, bro, you know what? We could just like turn that off. You know, like we could just turn it off. Like why would we not? What
you're describing is like those memes, high thoughts.
Not gonna lie or not gonna high I'm lie.
Yeah. Yeah. You know, we could just turn off the likes.
I think that's what it feels like. So you've turned off the likes. And I think that is
the ability to see likes.
Right. Apologies. Mm-hmm. If you are not someone who is on Twitter or seen that likes can get a couple of folks in some trouble, basically, you can just go to, there's a tab, you know, you can just look and see what people have liked. And very quickly, you can get an idea of what these people like.
Yeah, pretty much.
What they think, what they like.
Pretty much.
And there continues to be, you know, say a police officer or a congressperson or a doctor who has been accused of maybe doing something a little racist. And then you go to their likes and it's like, oh boy, just out in the open. You're like, how do I get to the Klan meeting? Like,
right.
I just left the Klan meeting. Like,
they have really good finger sandwiches at the Klan meeting.
Like, my wife makes the best Klan hoods. Like, I mean, it's wild. And it has been for many a year.
Yeah.
And now they're gone. Now, the other thing that has happened, Ambush, if you'll remember, is that pornographic material is now
not banned.
Not banned.
Yeah. So that's where my head went first, right? I heard about porn being allowed on Twitter, and it was like,
well, it's always been there.
It's always been
what
there.
Do you guys mean?
Like, yeah, it's like, oh, okay, that was weird. And then the likes thing happened, and that's the line I drew immediately.
Yeah.
I didn't even consider in the moment, which you started out talking about, is just the accountability of people out here being racist, being sexist, being all the phobias untracked now.
Yeah.
And just be free to just run around liking. Now you can still look at a post and see who liked it, but it was always that much easier to just go to someone's account and see what they like.
Right. Which is something that, sleuths would do immediately.
Yeah. Journalists.
And, well, I think there's this is manyfold. Mm-hmm. And I'm sure there are fiancés that are going to be able to give us more that we're not thinking of in the moment. I think I have said this before. I believe that Elon bought Twitter to make it a disinformation tool. I really do. I think that it is just one other tool in the tool belt to confuse the ever-loving mess out of people. And changing, the verification to something you can just buy was one heck of a step. Giving the people that buy a check mark the ability to, do a Facebook status style post instead of being limited to 180 characters or 240, whatever it is now. Another step. And now looking at things like, well, yeah, we'll just allow this to be on the platform, which is interesting because how does it not break the terms and service, right? Because it's my understanding you couldn't just upload that yourself on your account. Right. You know what I mean?
Right.
But now I guess.
Yeah. It seemed like it wasn't allowed, but then it wasn't policed.
Yeah. Yeah.
Because they knew people were still going to Twitter for it.
Right.
So they weren't actively policing it.
Well, and I think Elon is not looking for, it's definitely a quantity over quality, right? He's not looking to deter people from coming.
He's a free speech warrior.
He is that definitely.
Elon's who we're talking about, right?
Yeah.
Free speech warrior.
Yep. You nailed it. Free speech warrior.
Yeah.
Anyway, I think that this is just more of it. It's more of that rollout of societal norms or what we have decided on together are no longer things. Mm-mm. Much like words. Those meanings, pish posh. Terms of service, pish posh. I own this.
Right.
I'll do what I want.
Adobe.
Oh man, another one. Will you play Is This the End today?
By whomst?
Is this
Bette Midler? Oh, no. Okay, yes.
Yeah, what is that?
I can't remember.
New Edition? What can I think of who that is?
I think it is New Edition.
Very early New Edition? I don't know. Yeah. Sorry.
Babyface New Edition.
Because, I mean, really, I don't mean to just skip around, but like Adobe pulling you can't even open this and do anything without saying we can own everything you create.
Did you guys hear about this crapola?
And I'm sure it's a, training tool for AI. I'm sure the point is like not to necessarily immediately make money off of people's art, but to train AI on their art, on their concepts, on their things and their stuffs. And I, a fairly newcomer to using Photoshop and the like, I
skilled one though. Yeah.
Hey, thank you. Appreciate you.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I don't even know what the alternative tools for what I use it for are. And so I'm definitely like, what is a person supposed to do?
Right.
Imagine if that's the only way you make your money.
Right.
Imagine if that, like, and you've already gone from the model of I can buy this and own it outright to I must subscribe. And I already felt leery when they were like, you must, use the cloud.
Right.
And we're trying to force people to let them house their works. I don't want you to. What if I want to just store that locally and I don't need that to go to anywhere else?
Exactly. Yeah. That was I hadn't opened Photoshop in a while, so when you told me that, I was like, wait, what? I mean, proof to there being other alternatives out there, but I mean, when you need to get some, there are some projects you need to go straight to Adobe for and knock them out. And we were having this discussion over the weekend with another content creator, actually someone who works in lighting in the industry, animation, and they were just saying like the learning curve of having to try another program.
Yes.
Like, because you have routines now in Photoshop.
Of course. I've literally done automated actions so that I can just do it by the batch.
Exactly. There's so many different things that you formed, habits that you formed that help you get from point A to point B as quickly as possible and then update your productivity, and work as efficient as possible. And now to even think about having to explore going on the journey to find another application.
Seriously.
It's almost like they got us in headlock.
Right.
But it's such an unreasonable thing to ask for. It's similar to the actor strike, where one of the deals they laid on the table was like, this is groundbreaking. This is a monumental deal, never seen before. We want to own you.
What?
We're
going to own your likeness and never use you as a worker again.
You're right. Under what circumstances would that be something that I would want? So to have an app with such a large footprint, like, Adobe, to say, hey, listen, let's just do this. We're going to update our terms and conditions in a way that we have access to anything you've ever created within our app. Okay, cool. Thanks. Hit next, and I will see you on your next project.
Yeah.
We'll be watching. That's ludicrous.
Can we also mention that Elon is super upset about Apple's AI integration and was like, if I don't even remember what the ultimatum was. It was like, if this happens, all Apple software products, whatever, will be banned from X spaces.
Sir, please.
Okay.
Sir, that is a trigger you could never pull.
Or would never.
Yeah,
is really more like
stop it. Stop it.
Even if he means it,
What tickles me the most out about this whole situation is how Apple has coined AI as Apple Intelligence.
Now we see this a little differently. I, as not a part of the cult, and you as a part of the Apple cult, think that is funny and clever and I don't know, a great thing that was done. I do think it's funny. It is. Except for when you are obviously continuously vying for one of the most globally known products.
Yeah.
To insert yourself in that way. I mean, honestly, if I want to say, and this is no shade to my mom, if my mom had an iPhone or used Apple products and then heard that AI was Apple Intelligence, that is what AI would mean.
Period. No, it's true. It's true.
Right?
From that point forward.
Yeah.
Well.
So like the people, the large group of people that will just hear that and be like, so that's what that means? Wow, that's crazy. Apple's doing all of this, huh? Oh, wow. Like, yikes.
Oh, that's so true. Well, they're using the Apple intelligence to just replace people on TV shows now.
Yeah. Yeah. That is what they're doing.
Oh, my goodness.
Got a couple of text messages. Yeah. Good morning, P-Town. This says, smashing rising. No, just no likes. No social media. Seems like the likes was a fabulous way to profile someone. Yeah. Elon's just not smart enough. And then, P.S. Heal soon, Rudo.
Heal soon, Rudes.
All these things we can do with technology. Can we just have a community campfire? Honestly.
True, P-Town.
Let's warm our hands instead of using the Twitter thumbs.
A community water cooler.
Yes. I am with that.
Hey, Bella.
Good morning, Bella. As long as I do not have to sleep on the outside, I'm down for the campfire.
Do we tell people about our affinity for watching Alone and shows of the like? I've done it.
It's
okay. Been told.
Oh, okay. I wonder why you asked.
Because you mentioned sleeping outside. It's true. We're not really... You've never camped, right? Or was it the one time outdoor school you had to or something like that?
Well, outdoor school, you didn't have to sleep outside.
Okay.
There was actual cabins.
All right.
I have camped before. Okay. That is how I know I don't want to camp.
Right. Now, glamping is something we've discussed.
We have discussed it. We have never done it.
Never done it.
But I would...
Down for a glamp.
Would be willing.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yes.
But we do like watching Alone.
Okay, so...
This is fascinating.
Shout out to Tempo for... Yeah. But really not. Like, I this is the thing that I blame her for.
Wow. Take the shout out back.
No, I give it to her wholeheartedly. But the last thing I needed was like some sort of other reality show to watch or something, right. And she got me on these Alone and Survivor. Well, Survivor's not really.
Okay.
But it, it's just a little different.
Yeah, definitely.
There's one called Outlast that is fan favorite with me and Brie.
Okay.
But Alone is great.
Alone is
We get
tight.
to see people build incredible structures and, forage and all those things. All the things I will not do. All the things I would actually like to weave your basket and your hat that will keep you safe from the sun.
Before it gets cold.
I will help you, weave your roof or something. Yeah. Oh, man. We watched a guy build a chimney yesterday, and that was
that was
insane.
Tight. That was tight. We watched someone build a kayak, a couple
seasons ago. Yeah, so the bushcraft stuff is like the actual whittling of things. Like I'd love to learn it. Yeah. But I then don't want to apply it because I have to.
Yeah. For leisure, sure.
Sure.
Yeah. But not
maybe
survive.
I start to make the best Survivor hats, And then all the survivalists are like, you got to get the bag and hat from Morgan.
You gotta get the infamous items bag and hat.
Right.
Yeah.
But no, I'm not going to go out there and actually use it. I'm going to get the testimonials. Does this really work?
You like?
I don't know why we started talking about this. Oh, because we won't. I do not want to purposely camp. I don't understand it does not work for me. My back has been a problem since a car accident at 21 or 20. Yeah. Whatever. Lane, no, pass. Don't talk to me about the, blow up mattress that can happen or the, fancy tent, but not a glamp tent. No.
I've had very limited success with blow up mattresses. I always end up in the morning.
On the ground.
Yeah. It's I feel like at least 75% of this air is gone.
I think I would agree.
And it's hard to get out. You got to try to roll out of it.
You're laying on the floor, but you have like inflated. Yeah.
You're in this valley. Jeez. All right. Okay. I don't know how we got there, but you know what? You're listening to X-Ray FM at KXRY Portland at 91.1 and 107.1 FM, and in Nehalem, Wheeler, Manzanita, and Rockaway Beach at 91.7 FM, streaming online everywhere at xray.fm.
P-Town said it's okay to be a watcher, which, thank you, and made me think of The Watcher, the show, which I'm waiting for that second season to come out.
Hello. Will this be a third season?
Second.
Oh,
The Watcher.
The Watcher.
Yeah, the
show on Netflix.
Yeah.
Let's go.
Yeah.
That was wild.
I think it was initially just going to be like the limited series or whatever, and I think there's going to...
Don't you limit my series. You know, we need
Not
that.
when you leave it like that.
Bro, we need that. We need third season of From. Let's go.
Are any of you guys watching From?
Let's go. You guys watching Acolyte?
Oh.
You know.
Acolyte has definitely made me have lots of questions as a person who does not watch anything Star Wars.
You're like, but wait. And why is the Senate making these decisions?
I just don't understand what's happening here.
This is not Republic territory. And like, you're right. You're right.
They have no jurisdiction here. I don't understand. And I'm going to apologize to you now, Ambush, because there is a way I can watch TV quietly. I don't always. So there's, times where I'm just commenting through, like, that doesn't even make any sense at all. I don't know why you would do that.
It's in a galaxy happening far, far away, long, long time ago. So I understand the confusion, man. You're just stepping right in and like, what is happening?
Lots of questions.
Yeah.
And yesterday, you might as well have been old boy with the strings telling me, and that's Palpatine so-and-so, granddaughter. And then the can only get the Force this heavy if it's... What?
I do love how it always comes back to Palpatine no matter what.
I mean, that's my takeaway from any Star Wars things at all, is like, so Palpatine was the villain again.
He's used guys Thanos.
Right.
Ooh.
Wow. He's everywhere. I just, I'm trying to, I like to establish the rules of a universe so that true. I can so I can watch it without asking a bunch of questions.
Very true. I have noticed that with you, with shows that we watch. It's either within the first or second episode, you're like, now wait a minute.
Why can they do this if they can?
And I like we watch in that respect, like we enter, entertainment from different doors. I suspend every ounce of reality with anything that I watch. It all needs to be possible in order for me to enjoy myself. But then there's moments when it just gets, you push it past the envelope. And that's Fast and Furious. There are just things that are happening. So it's like, okay, guys, you can't pretend that, you can't give me that this show is happening in the real world. And then there are things that are happening that would be like in the G.I. Joe movie. Like, this is... Well,
I don't know why G.I. Joe is happening in the real world. Bad example. Those are just regular Joes,
Yes.
Just out there saving their country.
Oh, my goodness. Man.
It's funny because that is... You suspend all reality, and I'm like, I know I need to, so tell me how.
Right.
How will I? And I don't know that this is my fault. I feel like there are rules established in these universes for a reason, right? And I catch on and go, now wait a minute, they're breaking their own rules. I thought we were here doing the same thing, and we're not. And we're going to let this go,
It's a point of contention.
It is clearly a point of contention. No. But where I am at right now with Acolyte is, wow, this is really a great show so far.
Yeah.
Why?
Oh, yeah.
Why? I don't know. Is this a spoiler alert?
It's
Spoiler
not. You can
alert.
see it in the trailers and everything.
Why in the world are they identical twins as adults and clearly not as children? And the thing that makes me even more upset is one of the kids that's a twin is a perfect casting for the adult. Yeah. The other one makes absolutely zero sense. There's not one feature except for the wig that they're wearing. Like, it makes no sense. So it's one of those moments where it's like, okay, guys, is this all black people look alike to you? Or is this just like any light-skinned little girl will do?
It's a very strange thing that they did. I'm holding out for an explanation later. Is there something?
And see, I don't.
Yeah.
Tell me, why do I have to wait? Explain yourself. This makes no sense. But I will if they do something. No, see. No, never mind. Right. I'm going to spend too much time on this.
Like, is there a ritual that's going to happen later? I'm just waiting.
One has happened and as one has marked one, we don't need any other situation.
All right. Fair enough.
Explain to me. Somebody get someone from them on the horn.
From them.
Yeah.
Guys, welcome to an episode of A Podcast Has No Name. I am DJ.
That is exactly what happened.
But yes. Okay. So maybe we should talk about the news we're actually going to talk about today.
Yeah, maybe we should do that.
Yeah.
If you guys hadn't heard, in local news, that old PPS school board facing some backlash as they cut $30 million from the budget, potentially impacting around like 200 positions.
Yeah.
And yeah, there's just,
yeah. I'm sure it's going to affect, thank you, Jay-Z. I'm sure it's going to affect, the quality of education.
I thought you didn't want me to start ranting.
All right.
Why didn't we lead with that? We should have had the show on that. And just call the show Why Capitalism is Bad.
Yeah.
Another one.
Why billionaires are a bust.
Shouldn't exist.
In national news, a man from Arizona made plans to jumpstart a race riot by going to a rap concert.
In Atlanta.
Heavily armed to cause as many casualties as possible. I don't know how the race riot playbook works, but yeah. What's the part 2 to that? And the Oklahoma Supreme Court dismisses the Tulsa race massacre survivors lawsuit.
Everything's going great here in America, if anyone was wondering. I know that there's, globally many of tragedy happening at the same time. And just don't forget that they're happening here too.
Yeah.
Because wow.
Don't become too numb. But that's what you got us for every Thursday morning.
Ambush, I would love a music break. And when we get back, I have an ask of our fiance.
Right. Music break it is. Welcome back to News of My Fiancé with Morgan Jones and DJ Ambush. Good morning, fiancés.
Good morning, fiancés. I have an ask. X-Ray has once again become a finalist for Best Radio Station in Portland in Willamette Week's Readers Poll.
Daggone right.
And who doesn't want to win? You know what I mean? Come on.
It's just how we roll, bro.
Y'all. I think it's fair to just beg, or no. We'll ask first. We have another show before it's over. Maybe then I'll beg.
Fair enough.
But definitely, vote for X-Ray as best radio station in Portland. Hands down.
Let's do it.
And the, let's see, how do I say this? Go to bit.ly X-ray best by Friday, June 28th to vote.
Boom.
Go vote.
Boom.
Very important.
Let's get. There was
or
a
you
point.
can go just from the. I'm sorry. You can just go from the banner on X-Ray's website.
Nice. There was a time X-Ray had it 5 years in a row.
There is.
back to back to back to back to back.
Incredible.
Yeah.
And the streak was broken, and then there wasn't like a
COVID happened or something.
Yeah, and so there wasn't. And who doesn't want to return on top?
And now we back for them rings. We need another ring.
Yep.
Yeah.
6 rings. Let's go.
P-Town did say, as you were asking about, reality shows. Not reality. Yes, reality shows.
Mm-hmm.
But who's watching the Antique Roadshow? This gal. I've heard a lot about that show.
I too have heard a lot. I've never seen an episode.
Same.
Love it.
I was trying to figure out a clever way to segue, and then I was like, maybe I could just come in like Kool-Aid Man, just smash through the wall and be like, "You want to talk about jumpstarting the race riot?"
Oh boy, I
had another story you want to start with, but I could,
I say start with the local.
Okay, I'll go local. Excuse me. I'll go local with the PPS story. Scrolling. All right. There we go. Boom. Portland Public Schools faces backlash over $30 million budget cuts. Members of the Portland Public Schools community are expressing their outrage after the school board officially voted to cut $30 million from the upcoming school year's budget. The decision has sparked significant concern among PPS employees, many of whom fear losing their jobs as a result of the cuts. PPS employees voiced their frustrations during Wednesday night's board meeting. Jeremiah Wade, a school print shop employee, highlighted what he perceived as a contradictory move by the board. Excuse me. At the same time they terminated the 5 of us, they turn around and hire 7 non-classified employees in the same department, Wade said, underscoring the inconsistency in the board's decisions. Charlotte Fisher, a paraeducator, expressed her worry about the privatization of the district. We continue to slide into the privatization of a public school district. The amount of money that was spent on finding a new superintendent via Human Capital Enterprises, according to PPS, was $137,000, Fisher said, pointing out the expenditure on administrative hiring amidst the cuts. In response to these concerns, the district has reiterated that the budget crisis stems from insufficient funding from the legislature, the loss of COVID relief dollars, and declining student enrollment, among other factors. These issues have placed the district in a challenging financial position, necessitating the budget reductions. Julia Brim Edwards, a PPS school member, acknowledged the difficulty of the situation. I want to acknowledge that the staff attempted to, as much as possible, make the cuts that had to happen as far away from the classroom as possible, which meant there were district-level cuts that will impact the level of services, and also this budget contains cuts that our schools and students will feel, Brim Edwards said, emphasizing the effort to minimize the impact on classrooms. But despite these efforts, the cuts will result in the elimination of 200 full-time positions, split evenly between district-level and school-level roles. Positions being cut include assistant librarians, physical education instructors for students with special needs, and the feeding team. Both students and employees have expressed concerns about the detrimental effects these cuts will have on students, education, and support services. The district has tried to mitigate the impact by cutting positions where other employees can potentially fill in the gaps. However, this approach has not alleviated the fears and dissatisfaction among the community. Many worry that the quality of education and support for students, particularly those with special needs, will suffer as a result of the reductions. As the new school year approaches, the PPS community remains in a state of uncertainty and frustration. The budget cuts have highlighted the ongoing challenges faced by public schools in securing adequate funding and maintaining essential services for their students. The board's decision continues to be a point of contention, sparking a broader conversation about the future of public education in Portland. Here's the thing. The schools not receiving the funding that they need can be tied to a bunch of different factors, right? We are constantly seeing deprioritization of education and arts. And it's no coincidence that while that's happening, we are watching more money and emphasis being placed on policing and incarceration. There's a direct line between these two. We all know that. And for any of those people who don't know that or doubt or think that this is some conspiracy, please do the reading. Please do the adequate research. It's been documented. And then we mentioned Jay-Z at the top of the show. There's been a story that surfaced last week about Jay-Z and Roc Nation donating $300 million to the school district in Philadelphia School District. Thing is, that wasn't exactly true. They are, I believe, the best way to put it, they're part of a campaign to raise awareness and support for vouchers, basically. $300 million worth of vouchers that are to go to parents that will allow their children to attend private schools. So this is taxpayer money that's being spent to redirect children from public schools into private schools. And this is happening all over the place. Shout out to Betsy DeVos. She was head of education. As part of those initiatives that they were putting in place back then and real proponents of defunding basically public education. And who suffers when that happens? Our kids. So yeah, it's really insidious. That's the word I was looking for. Truly, truly insidious. The idea that Portland Public Schools the school district would lose 200 positions across the board, and that some of these cuts are going to include paraeducators, food services, assistant librarians. Like, that is wild. That's absolutely nutty. I'm not exactly sure what they're expecting from a performance standpoint from our kids. We have one more, kid in school. They're about to go into their senior year, but to imagine our students having to deal with even less resources, to imagine our instructors, our teachers having to deal with even less resources is beyond my comprehension. I know I suspend reality to watch certain shows, but I don't need to be suspending reality to spend time in reality. It's wild. It's absolutely wild. I'm seeing this text from P-Town, as well as defending public services and schools. Being one of them is a short sign that funding is going more towards feeding war. Correct. It is an intentional breakdown of the system to get rid of it. I am curious, though. As we keep defunding and, reallocating funds away from public education, what is the is that in the Project 2025 playbook? What is their game plan for public education? What do they want? What do they want to see happen? Like, I don't really want to know. I'm asking, what do they want to see happen? I'm really not that curious. I'm really not. It's just one destructive game plan stacked on top of another. But that's definitely what we're facing here. And again, they said, due to COVID funds, them not receiving the same funds they were receiving during the pandemic, and other funding that was held up at the state level, state legislature. I just can't imagine the trade-off there. What are they expecting? How are they expecting this to positively impact our population when we are spending money in every other way outside of educating our kids? I can't see it. I cannot see it. I don't know how. I don't know how we're supposed to get to the finish line. Seriously. Morgan Jones, you're having quite the morning.
Yep.
Yep.
My glasses are falling off. I can't. Nothing's working. Sorry, I did not mean to leave you.
It's all right. I barely noticed.
I bet that's true.
That's not.
But you may have noticed, you know? And so...
Yeah, you have to take an important call. I get it.
Yep, that's...
We got that offer from MSNBC that we got to... Look at your face. Like we did? No. There's no offer from them.
LOL.
We got an offer from them, too.
Uh-huh. Well, I don't know where we are, so I feel like maybe we could do a music break and then come back with a new story.
I was just finishing up with the for the public schools situation, you know.
Mm-hmm.
30 million, 200 jobs. Did a little segue and talk about Rock Nation in Philadelphia and the voucher program.
Oh, you did?
Yeah.
Oh, man, that's the greatest stuff.
I had to pull that in.
I'm happy you did, because it's a really upsetting. I'm tired. I'm so tired. How do we have to keep doing the same convo? And it is just amazing that, like, even you know, a journey. There's you know, a billionaire journey maybe for It's kind of like, you know, you are in probably some rooms, meetants, planes, circles, trains, automobiles, yachts. I don't know. Yeah, circles is probably
yachts.
The easiest way to say that. And the conversations are going to be pretty elitist and gross, probably. Maybe that's what I would call them. And then you as not you, Ambush, or you listeners, but you, the billionaire, new billionaire or wanting, you know, aspiring billionaire, wanting nothing more than to get to that, you know,
right,
yacht owner status, not yacht guest status.
Right. How much did you pay for this thing?
Right. And you're listening to, you know, conversations and ideas and in that marketplace of ideas that just maybe they make so little sense. You're like, wow, this is going right over my head. I don't know what happens. But there's either a point where you start to believe in it, or you say, I don't even care. What
right.
I'm just here to make more money.
Right.
So what are the things I got to do? Which hand am I shaking now? Yeah. Okay. So I'm just interested to see what Jay-Z gets for this, you know, or Rock Nation gets for this. Go ahead.
I was going to say, like, at what point does the scorecard of bad decisions that Young Hova is making, at one point does it start affecting his brand? Because,
I wonder.
You know, like, this is like super blatantly goofballish.
I'd say just as goofballish as bringing Bitcoin to public school, like, let me show you how to invest in Bitcoin.
Right.
Like, that's what you're giving public schools while taking away funding from public schools, right, is a scam.
Yeah. 100%.
A scam, and then another scam, and then another scam. And we'll just continuously hit the poor with, and poor is, you know, subjective at this point.
Yeah.
To someone that far away from it.
Yeah. But it's just like, this is something that very quickly, and, you know, we're all in our bubbles. So we're going to see things on Twitter and Instagram from people that we already follow giving analysis on Roc Nation's decision to do this. So to us, it's like, this is crystal clear. This makes absolutely no sense. Dude, you are pushing a Republican agenda. The whole concept of, you know, we're not alien to the concept of school choice and the vouchers. Like, we understand what this is immediately.
Segregation.
Yeah. But there's a great degree of people, or a large degree of people, who don't.
Yeah.
And they see the headline and it's immediately like, whoa, this is Jay-Z spending money on Philadelphia. Awesome.
On Philadelphia's children.
Yeah.
On the poorest children in Philadelphia, you know?
Yeah.
Like,
Creating opportunities for them.
Certainly.
That ain't it.
This is why, you know, when billionaires are like, I'm a philanthropist, and then the philanthropy is like you give $100 grants to new college students or something, $1,000 grant.
Yeah.
And then they get to rest on that, you know, like then the group of people who also want to be the billionaires, they think they get to be philanthropic and that's all it takes. And then I haven't done anything bad. Right. And as much as we want that to be true or whatever, not even close.
Right.
Get him out of here. I mean it. Like, I don't like this transition. I do not like seeing a hero become a villain. This is ugly. And it's not where anybody that is even, you know, forward facing, saying things like they are protecting the Black community.
Right.
And then being incredibly predacious. And because you are who you are, even to people who don't really even know, you know, it's just sort of believable. Yeah. It's sort of, it's just sounds great and perpetuates this, like, look at him helping.
Yeah. Bob says, morning, Bob.
Morning, Bob.
It will be a great day when public schools have all the funding they need, while the Heritage Foundation has to hold bake sales.
That's it.
That'd be awesome.
How do we get them to do bake sales?
That would be sensational.
I mean, taxing the rich and then them actually doing it would be part of it. But also, maybe not giving all, just anyone nonprofit status. That'd be
cool. Anybody, just throwing it around.
Just throwing it around. We're just a, you know, foundation spreading hatred.
Yeah.
Shouldn't have to pay taxes.
No. Why should we? We're spreading hatred.
Honestly, I don't know if the Heritage Foundation is or is not a nonprofit organization. That's an assumption I made.
It's a solid one, though. It's a solid one. I'm not mad at that assumption.
Sorry for the low energy. Ambush, gonna need a music break.
All right. Let's see. Oh, I haven't played this in a while. We'll catch you guys on the other side of this music break.
You want more views from Morgan Jones and DJ Ambush?
You know you do.
Then I suggest tuning in to News with My Fiancé's sister show, Views with My Fiancé.
All right.
Just look up Views with My Fiancé on your favorite podcatcher app.
Do it!
For real.
P-Town says, in response to our conversation about mega yachts earlier, is a pirate ship considered a yacht? Because I want one of those.
I too want a pirate ship.
Also, thank you for being you, low energy and all. The show is great. Even on low energy days, you're lifting folks up and educating.
Oh, thank you.
Hearts.
All the hearts.
Bob says, by the way, vouchers have historically been unpopular with voters.
Yes.
When vouchers are on the ballot, they always get defeated. just like big government control of women's bodies.
Mm-hmm.
The only way the right can get what they want is by force and by subterfuge. We, the people, are not on board with their agenda. It's very true.
Yes.
We are not.
Thank you, Bob, for the good reminder there.
Yeah.
And honestly, one of the things that frightens me the most is that is all true. And then when you start getting like a Jay-Z and whoever else will be the next one, who, like, I was trying to get to that whole journey. Like, we've watched him go through all of this stuff, and then you're an art collector, and then you're, you know, just a supportive husband and dad, and then you're like doing these kind of things.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
It does, in fact, change the opinion of folks who have maybe not known how insidious, you know, this is and what the actual end goal is. It makes them think that this is the right thing to do.
Oh, absolutely. When you see one of your heroes out here making certain decisions and being celebrated for it, automatically it's like, yeah.
And especially, I mean, we live in, and I think we have for a long time, just that headline culture of like reading a headline and forming an opinion immediately. No, I don't need to read that article. I don't need to know what actually happened. That headline says this, and I'm mad about it, and it makes me happy.
Right.
And so Jay-Z gives 300 million, whatever it was, I don't remember, to Philadelphia schools. Yep. There's going to be a lot of people who just quote that.
Right.
Have no idea what it means. Don't know how a dollar translates to a child's life, a student's life. No clue. But would go, yeah, I've heard about that before. Jay-Z thinks it's a good idea. I don't know. They want to do that in my neighborhood. Maybe we should do vouchers.
Detroit next.
But you're right, Bob. And to not leave it on this is awful. The right has to do the trickery, the force, the subterfuge, like, and right now their plan is working. And that's the scariest part, is it's literally working.
Working well. Well.
And not that it hasn't worked, you know, in the past, but we're at different, I mean, we are at the point where they said women's bodies, choices on your own. Man. LOL.
You know, I don't want to just jump ahead.
Yeah.
But for next week, I'd like to discuss Project 2025.
Well, boom. There's the show for next week.
All right. I want to get into what you said that made me jump there.
That their plan is working.
Okay. There it is. All right.
I want to jump into the Oklahoma story because these are the kind of stories that you would not know, you would not learn about. Many people never learned about the Tulsa Race Massacre. And in a vouchered style program, in every school is a charter school, or every, you know, this would not be a story that anybody growing up today would learn. And that is another reason why people who have absolutely zero to do with education should have their hands, their fingers, their money, their decisions in it. If you just paid your taxes.
That's it. That's all we need you to do.
And allowed the counties, cities, you know, to make the decisions and roll out the programs. And because we can hold some people accountable, we cannot hold every person accountable. And we certainly know that holding billionaires accountable is laughable.
Yeah, much like your president.
So anyway. In more awful news, the Oklahoma Supreme Court dismisses the Tulsa Race Massacre survivors' lawsuit. I do want you to just, you know, sit with the fact that there are survivors of this.
Man.
That, again, many people, you may not have learned about it in your schoolings, and maybe you did. And it probably felt like it was 1 million years ago. And there are people still living from that.
Right. So, they can't even teach it currently.
Well, that's, that's CRT too woke. Go bro. Something like that. A decades-long fight for justice and restitution came to an end on Wednesday afternoon after the Oklahoma Supreme Court dismissed a lawsuit brought by the last two known survivors of the 1921 Tulsa Race Massacre. The suit, filed by centenarians Leslie Benningfield Randall and Viola Fletcher, sought to compel the city of Tulsa and other defendants to provide restitution to the two women who were children during the massacre. Randall and Fletcher's lawsuits were filed under Oklahoma's public nuisance law, arguing that the massacre continues to impact Tulsa by contributing to the city's racial and economic disparities. The plaintiffs contended that Black Tulsans who lost homes, businesses, and lives in the massacre were never compensated for their losses. However, the 9-member Supreme Court upheld a district court judge's decision from last year, which stated that while the grievances were legitimate, they did not fall within the scope of the state's public nuisance statute. The court's decision effectively closes the door on future attempts to seek reparations through the public nuisance law. This outcome is seen as a significant setback for the survivors and their supporters, who have long sought recognition and compensation for the atrocities committed during one of the most devastating racial attacks in American history. Before the massacre, Greenwood, a predominantly Black neighborhood in Tulsa, was one of the wealthiest Black communities in the U.S., often referred to as Black Wall Street. This prosperity came to a violent end on May 31st, 1921, when Dick Rowland, a Black teenager, was accused of assaulting a white teenage girl. The accusation was sensationalized by the white-owned Tulsa Tribune, which incited white citizens to lynch Rowland, leading to a massive outbreak of racial violence. Encouraged by white police officers, a mob gathered and soon began attacking Greenwood. White pilots even flew over the neighborhood, dropping dynamite, marking one of the first aerial bombardments of a U.S. city. The mob's destruction was catastrophic, with between 100 and 300 people, predominantly African Americans, killed, and more than 1,200 homes, schools, churches, and businesses destroyed. The Supreme Court's decision acknowledged the extensive and lasting damage inflicted upon the Greenwood community. The ruling noted that local officials not only failed to protect Black residents, but also actively participated in their persecution. Many Black residents were detained en masse and could only be released if vouched for by a white person. Efforts to rebuild Greenwood were thwarted by local authorities, who amended building codes to make reconstruction prohibitively expensive. On the 100th anniversary of the massacre, Viola Fletcher vividly recalled the horror, describing scenes of death, smoke, and chaos. She remembered seeing airplanes flying overhead and hearing messengers warning Black residents to flee. Her testimony highlighted the enduring trauma experienced by survivors. The court's ruling emphasized its consistency with recent public nuisance jurisprudence, which avoids expanding liability to address historical social inequities. The court expressed concern that such an expansion could lead to unprincipled and unlimited forms of liability, involving both state and non-state actors for actions in which they played no part. The court maintained that it is not within their purview to create remedies for these historical claims or engage in policymaking.
Despite the legitimacy, we're not going to do it. I feel like when it comes to the African American experience, slavery, Jim Crow, all types of civil persecution that happened, there should kind of be like its own little bubble in which we're not applying certain. We're not making. Yeah, we're treating it completely separate from everything else. Because it is completely separate from everything else,
right?
And it's had such an immense impact on the creation of our nation and where we are today, where the laws that have come after some of these things have happened, of course, they're written in a way that to protect the state and protect the government from what they've done. It's really interesting in a situation like this. We have 2 survivors, eyewitnesses, and you're telling them based on this particular statute,
Yo,
can't do anything for you.
got nothing, baby.
It happened, but
I believe you. It happened. I believe you. I believe you were harmed your entire life for it, from it. You brought the wrong lawsuit, or there's no way to address this, or both, right? Like, it sounds, I am a layman to the law. I do not know what the best lawsuit would have been there, because clearly reparations do not get paid to Black Americans. So immediately I could public nuisance. That sounds like not a big enough deal, right? It sounds like that's maybe not the way that it should go. However, that may be like the only statute in Oklahoma that even, allows for that lawsuit to even move forward or something.
Right. And
I just don't know how you sit on a bench or as a, 9-person Supreme Court.
Right.
I don't know how you write that opinion. I don't know how you don't look for an alternative. I mean, we should not have to imagine being in that situation to know how to be able to empathize in the way that is needed. But if you were to, can you imagine living through that and having at 102, 105, 107 years old, explain it and have people who looked just like that before tell you sucks to be you?
Right.
I know it's been rough out here for you, but them's the breaks.
At the very least, sometimes, because it's really hit me when I saw it on Twitter, and I put a post up. We put a post up on News with My Fiancé on our Instagram. At the very least, when we experience these instances pop up in the news, and we experience it as a community, the despair, the disappointment, the depression that comes from seeing these type of things happen. At the very least, sometimes we look left and right, and we want some type of solidarity. We want some type of acknowledgement that this thing too is also wrong. Right. And while we're heading into November, and the Biden administration has been silent on so many things and vocal on so many other things, he's actively campaigning. Like, to be able to say, hey, you know what? I do not agree with this decision. There has to be something that we can do. This is a stain on America's history, blah, 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 however they want to paint. Like, to just not say anything. And maybe by now they have, But I don't know, man. It doesn't make any of this much easier. It's no different, and we say this all the time about police officers. The ones that claim that they're good cops and, working on community engagement. Why don't you say anything? You say I'm working on community engagement, but then you don't engage the community. You say you want to make sure that communities of color understand that Trump is a problem, and we do everything we can to make sure we're supporting the Democratic Party. But then you're not having a conversation with us about the things that really matter to us. You just aren't. I'm getting the ads.
Even worse than that.
Yeah. I'm getting the ads all over the place now.
Yeah.
On my Instagram, YouTube.
It's dire.
And listen, the Trump money is out there. The amount of Trump ads that I get watching my YouTube content creators is wild. It's wild. It's between Trump on YouTube and Kamala on Instagram.
Oh, interesting.
Yeah. I don't want any of it. Keep it. But it's just like, what do you want?
What to do?
What to do? What exactly do you want?
I mean, I will just say this, and we have talked a lot about Joe Biden and Trump will still skim.
Yeah.
And it is hard to reconcile the amount of things that Trump, I mean, we call him ineffective in a bunch of ways, but I'm like, the lasting impact of being able to have packed the courts so heavy.
Yeah.
And those decisions are doing the work for him.
Yep.
And when I say him, I do not believe that Trump cares enough about any of this. I mean, his administration,
yeah. So basically, it sounds like you're saying he's had an 8-year term.
Indeed.
Yeah.
In that regard, I mean, in the way that they are getting the things that they want during a Democratic presidency, and it just legitimately appears that the Democrats are not, taking it seriously or fighting back in any way. And I know that there's, pushback, but it just seems very, we're gonna take it. Not we're not gonna take it,
Michelle. Michelle said, SCOTUS always here to remind us that the only kinds of genocide we're allowed to think worthy of reparations are the ones whose stories can be twisted in favor of white empire.
Period.
Exclamation points.
Yo, that's it.
Yeah.
Correct. Ding, ding, ding.
Yeah.
I mean, it's just so frustrating. Like, there's so many of us understand that, see it, know it. And I don't just mean like us as in listening to this show or, us as society. So many of us know that. So many of us don't agree with what is going on. The fact that is true, and the fact that there is not a revolt in any way that is going to, like, I guess my thing is, I do not think that we will be able to ask for reparations and receive that. I do not believe that we will be able to ask for humane treatment and receive it. I don't think that we can ask for any of the things that are honestly owed to us.
Yeah.
Because they were taken by violence. And when things are taken by violence, you cannot go to those same people and say, would you please be nice now?
Right.
Hey, it's been a while. Any way you softened your position on my humanity?
Sheesh. Right.
Any way that you saw that this would, this tragedy that happened here did in fact impact my entire lineage? Did you notice that? If that happened to you, would you want help?
Right.
Restoration? Like, that we can't ask for it. So I don't in my mind think that that's a thing that can happen. I don't think that we can expect it, hope for it, vote for it.
Yeah. Yeah.
These are things that were taken by blood. I mean, I really think that through. 1921, they're flying planes and dropping bombs on a 3-block area blocks. But my point, that's just, when you're in a place where that is happening, and then you downplay it, dismiss it, talk about how those people deserved that. And when you think about an entire community being decimated on a accusation, it doesn't it makes the, response to the police killings of unarmed Black people, it makes that make a whole lot.
Yeah.
Because it's really, no matter what happened, it's fine that they died. No matter what the situation is, they likely deserved it anyway. And that is why there's ever a conversation about, well, what laws have they ever broken?
Right. Bob said, I have personally known white people in the South who are still angry about the outcome of the Civil War, yet insist that Black people need to just get over slavery. Bob, thank you. They can't even get over January 6th. Yeah.
Okay. It's just, what?
Right.
And that's it. Like, Matt Gaetz is on Tim Pool's podcast. I'm sickened that I have to say both of those names.
Right.
But he's on there saying, right, today, yesterday, whatever, that Steve Bannon and any other person who has been or will be questioned, prosecuted, subpoenaed for the January 6th committee, and the people that have already gone to jail or prison,
right,
and the people that should be on their way, and the people like Steve Bannon, who is, now has to turn himself in. What needs to happen there, per Matt Gaetz, is that the House says, you know what? As the representatives, we believe the January 6th committee is illegitimate. Therefore, none of this matters.
None of it matters.
In which their lawyers can then argue that it was an illegitimate committee, so there could be no subpoena to have to, it's all unserious. And the fact that is what different arms of this party are out here doing, like, that's a very specific reason to have Matt Gaetz on Tim Pool.
Oh, yeah.
A new young white supremacist just dropped as well, so there's that to look forward to.
That's not going too well for her either. She's getting pushback from white supremacists.
Well, you find out real quick when you're a woman, they don't like you either.
Yeah.
You are not the face of this.
They're like, you're not true to this. What is
you
going
are
on?
New to this. You just trying to make some money, girl.
Yep. Yeah.
You're not down for the race war.
You're not really down. They got on that quick fast.
We got a text, and I'm going to keep this person's identity completely anonymous. Covered, if you will.
Okay.
Because it says, hey, feds, cover your ears and eyes. Oh, I read that backwards. What 3-block radius do we start with now?
Oh. Hey, feds. I know who that person is.
Yeah, me too.
We got to protect their identity, though.
At all costs.
Oh, those feds.
Another one. When will we get past the point that Black and any people aren't for the disposable to the other ones?
Wait. Yeah.
I'm reading that wrong. But yeah.
Yeah. P-Town. Yeah. When? It'd be nice.
They've done a great job using all of these different things to divide us, and that's worked really well, and it'll be great if we could unite on one thing. And there is one really big thing we could all unite on, and that is the class war.
Yeah.
So,
easily. All on the same team there, guys.
For real. Solidarity is needed. Unification is needed. Get information, Yeah. We're the ones. They are not. And they certainly will do everything they possibly can to cling to it. So we have to get very serious and stop thinking we can talk nice. You can't assimilate your way into reparations, into proper treatment, we are literally dealing with the 18th wave of no affirmative action or whatever, you know, making DEI a bad word, you know, like, come on. So anyway, sorry.
No, quite all right. Thank you, everyone. Another show in the books. Today's show is made possible thanks to Morgan Jones and myself, DJ Ambush, and of course, our podcast editor, Kyle G. Kyle's going to make sure we have all these text messages thrown into the description. I am updating the playlist. I'm going to give you guys a treat to one of my favorite songs right now from Kaytranada's new project as we close out. But don't let the individuals distract you from the systems. Poverty is a policy choice. People over profits, power to the people, and none of us are free until we are all free. Thank you for listening.
Bye.